What's up, guys? Welcome to Roma Theory and welcome to this new format. Aiming to do this once a week. I'm joined by Rui and Francesco. Guys, do you want to introduce yourselves?
Go on,
Go ahead,
Francesco, you
Roy.
start.
Okay. Hey guys, Francesco. You can wonder why my name is Francesco. You'd be top of your class if you guess. But anyways, I'm a Romanista Fracico, as you would say in Rome. Nothing. To be honest, I'm very curious to see what's going on next season with Gasperini, and it's a pleasure to be here with Simo. I've been tuning into Simo's videos for over 2 years. Ever
Love
since
it.
Mourinho got sacked, I tuned in and I realized that Simo thinks a lot like I do, and ever since I've barely missed a video. So I'm very happy to be here. Now it's your turn,
Jeez.
Roy.
Jesus, how am I meant to top that, eh? Hi guys, I'm Rui. I'm from England, obviously not from Italy, but I've followed Rome my whole life. So I'm very grateful to be here. I've got some opinions that you know contradict other people's opinions, but we're here and we're gonna have a good time. So
I think of Rui as the Pellegrini master. You'll understand why, guys, but he's the Pellegrini master. He will defend Pellegrini to death. And look, we respect that. Everyone thinks whatever they want, and that's the beauty of it. But yeah, guys, I have a few topics that we can speak about. Of course, it's off season, so these are more chilled, as I said in the group chat. But to everyone watching, these are more chilled. You know, when we do this after a game, we'll probably be more heated. But you know, we have a few things to react to. We have Claudio Ranieri, of course, saying no to the Italian job. We've got Svilar extending his contract. We've got Gasperini, who just signed his contract and therefore is planning to create the team. What players will he choose and stuff? So, I mean, starting off with the base, what do you guys think of Gasperini? Because he signed last week. He'll have his first press conference on Tuesday next week. Where do you stand with him? Because of course it divides a lot.
do you want to take it
I
ahead,
mean,
Francesco?
it was good. Okay, I don't doubt. To be honest, I was quite deluded with Gasperini. Obviously, we're aware that he was arrogant with Atalanta, to say the least. But at the same time, I've come to terms with it and accept the fact that he's our coach. I mean, he's done an amazing job with Atalanta. Obviously, we're not Atalanta. We don't have the same piazza as Atalanta. Atalanta's easier to succeed with. You have no pressure. I mean, it's complicated. Like with Ranieri, it's one thing because it's like he can win the fans easier. He'll shield him. Honestly, I'm just 50-50 with it. Like, I accept him as our coach. Inter didn't come with bullshit when Conte came. He's a big Juventino Conte, and he went to Inter and Napoli. They said nothing, and they both won. So I think we should be professional with him, and he should be professional back, and let him do his job.
I think, to be honest, at first when I heard the rumors of Gasperini, I was a little bit hesitant, but after listening to his interview, I thought I was just ready to go. To be honest, I was excited. And one thing that as Romanistas, it's so important for the manager and a player to want Rome. And I know there was links with him going to Juventus, but it seemed like he was very much for Roma. He was involved in the project, which I think we can all see that there's something going on now where we're only going up from here. Ranieri got us back to stability. We tried it with De Rossi. Although I think De Rossi should have had more time, it was a project that was set, and then obviously bringing Juric in just kind of went back to square one. Ranieri brought us to that, and now I think Gasperini coming in, he's going to be here for a few years, and 3-4 years at least. And I think, in my
Is his
opinion, in
contract?
my eyes, exactly, and in my opinion, I think we've got to win some sort of silverware this year, um, whether that's the the Coppa Italia or Europa League. But I feel like we've got to compete, and I think Gasperini is the man for that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing that you said about Juventus is interesting because I actually when the Juventus rumors got in, part of me was convinced that he was going to snub us. Like I was convinced that he was going to say no, I'm sorry, but Juventus is calling because everyone knows that he wants that Juventus job, and it's kind of the apex of his career. So I would argue the reason he kept his word is because of Ranieri. I mean, I'd argue the reason he's here is because of Ranieri. I don't think we would have gotten Gasperini without Ranieri. I think, I mean, realistically speaking, it's logic. I mean, why would he come to a team that he knows that he's not loved? Fans are demand a lot immediately, and that, in my opinion, could be a problem. With a board that comes from sacking De Rossi after 4 games, after having extended a contract, nothing presented itself properly. The reason is Claudio, and I think the fact that Claudio said no to the national team, I think, is also very relevant for Gasperini himself. That's definitely what I think, and hopefully he'll win us something, maybe from year one, but it'll take him time, and I think that's what we need to learn, I guess. That it won't be an immediate project. That he won't win immediately. I mean, he might, but he won't win immediately. But yeah, we have to live with him and support him.
And I also think that, I think a massive selling point for anyone coming to Roma is the fans, no matter,
Yeah.
what European trophy you're in, but the stadium, the fans, I mean, he said it's one of the only teams in the league who sell out every game, or almost fill it up. So the passion that the Roma fans show, I mean, as any player or any manager, although we're quite quick to judge, I think it's such a selling point. And and that's what I really liked. I loved how much he talked about the fans, how much he talked about the stadium, the club. And I think he just wants to, I think he wants to be the guy to take us there,
Yeah.
I'm sure every coach fantasizes about winning a trophy with Roma, not because they care about Roma, but they're like, man, if I win a trophy with this team, I'll be like Hall of Fame level, because
Literally.
obviously we don't win every season, clearly. But
Well, I mean, people
yeah,
would
you're
argue
right.
that winning a league title with Roma is like winning 10 league titles with
League titles.
Juventus.
Yeah, totally.
So I guess it's also levels of motivation. I think he'd lost that at Atalanta, and it's understandable. I mean, after 9 years,
Yeah.
you do lose it. So he wanted a new challenge, and yeah, I mean, I think the key here, as I said in many videos, is the backing. If he gets backed properly, I think he can cook. But that's where the questions are. Can we back him? Or is the board gonna back him? Are we in a financial position to kind of satisfy all of his requests? It's
Well,
very
I mean,
hard.
I think that's one of the main reasons why Ranieri is so important, because I think Ranieri is the kind of guy to, if Gasperini said to him, "I want to sign a certain player," Ranieri will sit down with him and he'll assess it and he'll go, okay, and he'll talk it through, he'll understand the situation. And I also think if Ranieri says no, Gasperini won't, you know, pull a hissy
Yeah,
fit as he's done with Atalanta. I think he'll respect it, and I think he's got a lot of respect for Ranieri, and that's why having that senior role model in the club, someone with experience, someone with only good intentions for Roma, and it's not all financial, is so important to have.
Agreed.
agree. And who do you think will go for realistically, and who's gonna leave?
Yeah, who's one player, right? This is a good question. Who's one player? You can choose a player. Of course, let's keep it realistic. One
Hmm.
player that you think he will ask for.
I read this article. He said that, well, it makes sense because these fucking articles which come out like before he even signed, like Roma Press. But apparently, I saw an article like he wanted to bring Pasalic to Roma with him. I'm not sure if Pasalic will
It's
fit Roma, but
I
in fact, Pasalic plays every game, and he's a bit of a different profile, like Tukone. Uh, he's very versatile. That player. I remember him with
He
Milan.
is Rui.
I don't know.
mm, I'd say Scamacca.
Would you take him though?
I would,
I
I,
would.
I, I would take Skamaka 100%. I think that his first, I think it was his first season at Atalanta because he's only been there 2 seasons, hasn't he? His first season, I think he scored 19 goals or something
Yeah, but second
in
season he was
14
always
tournaments.
injured, so
He was
that's my
injured,
biggest.
but the thing is, he isn't getting back into that squad for Atalanta now. Retegi's in, because that was the problem, wasn't it? Scamacca started to pick up some form. He got injured, and then Retegi came in, and I don't think Scamacca. I think he is fit now. I think he's nearly there, but I don't think he can. I don't think he'll get back in. So in my eyes, a loan move for Scamacca as either Dovvik's second man and they played together up front or as an option on the bench, I mean, how can you say no?
Yeah, I mean
I
that's
wouldn't take
interesting.
to be on the bench, to be honest. If you're going for Scamacca, we're going for Scamacca to play him. But I'll take him because he's Romano. He's a Romanista.
And
So,
Exactly.
Gasperini was invited at his wedding, so I'm definitely sure that Scamacca was like, "Hey mate, bring me to Rome."
I'm sure Pellegrini said something to him as well at the
Did you
wedding.
see
Yeah,
the picture? Did you see the picture
yeah,
of
yeah.
them speaking to
El
Gasperini?
Shawari, right?
Yeah, and they were like, no, I'd probably go a player which I would love. I mentioned him already, and I'd see him slightly linked with us again. The reliability of those sources, I don't know, but I think we need a Lookman type of player because Gasperini plays with a 3-4-2-1. I think we need somebody extremely good and potentially also extremely fast to play in that left behind the striker, kind of how Lookman played at Atalanta. And I think somebody like Paixão from Feyenoord would be
Mm.
unbelievable. I read his
yeah.
stats. He had like, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll search it up now, but like 18 goals and 12 assists for Feyenoord this season. That's
Wow.
unbelievable.
Yeah. He's young as well, isn't he?
16 goals and 10 assists. Yeah, he's young. 16 goals and 10 assists
Oh,
in 34
wow.
games just in the league. And he's 24 years old. Somebody like him would absolutely pop.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I mean, I think I read a rumor today about Garnacho. He could also
Yeah,
fit that role,
they're
I'd
asking
say.
about Garnacho in the chat. You guys think, would you take him?
Yeah,
I would
100%.
take him. But like, depends what's being given in return. Like, what, we're going to have to pay for this or sold to the devil? In that case, no. But like, I'm sure he can go well in this area in general, whatever he goes to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he'll do really well in Serie A, but for some reason I can just see him going to Napoli. I can see him in that Napoli shirt. Um, but I think, he's a young lad, he's hungry. I feel like he has been let down a little bit by United, although he hasn't been in the best form. I mean, he's one of their prodigies, right? And I feel like at a club like Roma, under a manager like Gasperini, with the players around him, with Dybala as well, um, Argentinian. I think, I think Garnacho could do very well at Roma, and I think he'd fit that role perfectly, which you've just been talking about, that Lookman sort of role. And
Yeah.
if I'm being honest, I think we'd see a completely different player as well.
I would take him, but I agree with. I mean, it depends because they will ask quite a lot. I mean, they do have to sell, but they will ask. They will
Yeah.
ask. And going back to strikers, right? Because currently we have Dovbik, Tammy, because Tammy will be back, and Shimorodov. Start, bench, sell. Abraham, Dovbik, and Shimorodov.
Easy start. Dov big, bench. Shomorodov, sell Tammy. Tammy's time at Roma is done. Forget it. After he said those comments, tipo, the salta di qualità with Milan, like, better quality, his time is done. Like, you can't go back to that. I'm sure he thought deep down he's going to be kept by Milan. And that's not
You
going to
know,
happen.
I would argue. Now, call me crazy. You can call me crazy
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would argue that out of Dovbik, Tammy Abraham, and Shimorodov, Tammy Abraham is the one who suits Gasperini's system the most.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
But
I
it's not
agree.
only about that. It's about morale and
I agree.
psychology.
I agree. I would
So
not take him
One
I
back.
one thing about
I can't.
Tammy though is one thing I've always loved about Tammy wherever he's gone, especially since coming to Syria. is his his morale. It is his determination. He's always hungry, even when we're losing. He's always waving the fans on. Come on, and I've missed that,
But
to
it's
be fair. Because
what
you
kills
look
him
at
as well.
Dobbik. What do you say? Sorry.
He has high highs, low lows. That's the problem.
Yes. Yes, true. He's inconsistent. He's a very inconsistent player. But I mean, you look at that first season. I mean, wow. But then you look at this season and his last season with us, and he couldn't hit the ball on target for the life of him.
Yeah, he fell
Um,
in the pressure trap. And then
so
that's the problem, I think. And that's the issue why I would keep him, because I think he's the best in terms of, like, in the way he suits Gasperini's system. But I'll be very honest with you. I don't think I think we lost Tammy officially. Like, we're never gonna get him back because the fans don't want him back, and his confidence is very low.
I mean,
So
answering the question, I'd keep Dobbik 100%, and I'd keep Tammy as well, like you're saying, and I'd have Tammy either see what he can do. Maybe we'll see it in pre-season. See what if if them two can work, um, or he's just on the bench. But you've also got to think financially. I mean, we'll get a decent amount for Tammy Abraham. I mean, we might not get as much as he was worth, but I feel like some mid Premier League club or another Serie A club would want to snatch him up. And I think obviously if you're looking at selling Shromadov, I don't think you're going to get much for him.
yeah, you
Um,
won't.
so if you're trying to bring in another striker, I think the best option is to sell Tammy.
I mean, I depends on Dovbik. I put Dovbik on my depends. I really do, because, like, I want to give him another season, and I think he deserves another season fully. Fully, I'm not putting that into question.
For
He
sure.
does. We need to judge him after a second season. But if I get a 35 million offer for Dovbik, I sell him. I sell him because I can get somebody better.
Wow.
We've upset
I
Rui,
think
have we?
No,
you
I've
know
got to
what's the thing?
disagree.
I
I've
remember
got
when
to
he
I've got to
signed for
disagree.
us. I was looking at his highlights with Girona. I was like looking at the highlights, and I was like, "No, he's good, but there's something fishy." Like, he was scoring out of tap-ins, penalties, and he's a good poacher. Don't get me wrong, but I was seeing something really fishy. I was like, "He's not gonna do this with us." Realistically, I smelled something fishy. Like, it's not like when you see Jericho highlights and you know what you're getting. With Dovbik, I was like, will he do this with us? But I do think if we do get a left winger or a second striker plays on the left with Sule, and we have the playmaker behind him, he will be good. He'll be lethal. Give him the ball, he'll score. But if we don't, I mean, it's best to get a striker who is suited to doing more dirty work, like Luka, Kristovic, Zirkzee. I mean, wouldn't be a bad shout because, I mean, United won't sell him, to be honest. But they might
I
say
think it depends
Hoyland.
on the money, to be honest.
Yeah.
My only fear with Dovbik here is, and I don't want to be this. I'm not pessimistic, but after having analyzed this first season, my only big fear is that he's way, and I mean way too static for the way Gasperini wants to play. Like, Gasperini requires a lot for a striker. The reason Gasperini teams score a lot of goals is because a striker needs to offer the contribution to the team on an equal match as if the others need to offer to him. So I just feel like, apart from tap-ins, he's great at tap-ins, he's great at, like, heading the ball in, and I'll give him that. But when it comes to, like, starting the play, Dovbik isn't that type of striker, and I just feel like he will kind of drown in the way Gasperini wants to play. But I hope to be
So you
wrong.
think
I
it's
hope to be
better
wrong.
to get you think it's better to get the financial sum for him now before he drops off next season, and then we get a lower fee for him.
Well, you see, that's where the risk comes in, because if you sell him now, you
Mm,
will live with a very big regret, because every
mm,
striker that worked under Gasperini thrived and exploded. So you're like,
yeah,
it's my turn to live through a season where my striker scores 90 goals a season.
yeah.
So if you sell him now, I guess that you forever live with this regret. But I also feel like if you don't sell him now and he doesn't explode next season, then you will really not sell him for more than 15, 20 million. And that it would be a very big loss. Because we spent
I
like,
can
what,
see
38 million on him?
Yeah, and that was a lot of money for us. I mean, I can see Dobvik having the same impact, and this is a massive statement, but I can see him having the same impact as Dzeko did. I mean, we've all seen Dzeko's first season. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was the same.
Well,
And even
very
in Dzeko's first season, I mean, Dobvik still scored and assisted more goals than Dzeko did in that first season. Um, he's great at holding the ball up. He's a big striker. He's very physical. To be honest, I compare him to when we had Lukaku that season because you do see him. You know, he's quite slow. He doesn't press the ball too much. You kind of see him hovering around in that central area, and he doesn't go. He's not pressing the ball enough. Like someone like Tammy was, where he was absolutely all over the place. But I think under Gasperini, I think he'll thrive, and I can 100% see him being up there for top goal scorers next season. I can see him being a massive part of our team, 100%. Just the way that Gasperini plays and the way what you just said is every striker's thrived under Gasperini, and I think if we do sell him, it'll be a massive mistake. He'll go somewhere else, and he'll thrive. I mean, look at Schlick. When we had Schlick, he was awful in his first season, and then he started to slowly turn it around a little bit, and then we sold him. And although he's not amazing right now, he still scores a lot of goals. And he's a very important player. And I think Roma needs to stop giving up on strikers, and fans need to stop giving up on the strikers, and have faith in them a little bit.
Fra, do you want to add something?
I mean, the debate if Tammy is made for the squad, I don't know. Because on one side, I see Tammy as a player who presses. I see him a player who gives his all. At the same time, as a striker, like okay, the first season he was okay. Like don't get me wrong, he scored what 25 goals.
Yeah,
But I remember
first season was great.
no, it was great. But I remember that season, I felt he could have scored 70. So I think that statistic near his 25 goals makes me say if it was someone else, he would have done it the same. And then the next two seasons and the season with Milan, I mean, he was not great, realistically. Apart from when he ever plays against us, because that's the Roma myth. Our ex-players always play amazing against us. Now, I mean, I don't know about the striker thing. We always have these curses, but once we find a striker, we stick with him. At Vucinic, but after Vucinic, we spent like 3 years playing Totti as a false nine, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
Then we
you
got
could play everywhere. Yeah.
we got Dzeko, and Dzeko, okay, we gave him a chance. He ended up our striker. And then after Dzeko, we had the same problem playing
Yeah,
around.
after Dzeko, I genuinely can't remember a good striker. I mean, good striker, yes, but like world class.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We're
We've
quite
got no one where
uh,
every club wants your striker, which you want to be in a position like that where everybody wants to sign your star man.
Oh, Dzeko was something special. I mean, yeah, sorry for interrupting, Fra, but yeah, he was something
okay.
unbelievable.
The fact we bought him for like 15 million.
No,
Mm.
Dzeko was. Maybe it's the fact that I really started getting. Because when I was little, this is very ironic, but when I was younger, I completely hated football. I really started getting into football, especially into Roma in like Garcia's first season. But like really, really, really in like Spalletti, is a Salah, Dzeko, Totti, that team. And maybe it's the fact that he's the first big striker that I grew up with, but Dzeko was something phenomenal. I mean, he could do everything on that pitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
I miss him. I really do.
Well, what about a Dzeko return, eh?
Yeah, I
I
saw
don't think
Bologna won. I wouldn't do it, to be
about
honest.
Bologna.
Not even just have on the bench and give the last 20 minutes.
I would do it as a third option, not even as a second. Because I think we
Really?
really need to hire the bar this season. And I love him,
Mm.
but I mean, he's what? He's like 40 years old, so no. As a third, I would,
Mm.
yeah, but not as a second.
Yeah.
Going back to, oh yeah, Ranieri said no to the national team. Very big news for us. Um, First of all, reaction. What do you guys think?
I was going to kill myself, man. These past 5 days, literally. I remember when the ball was gonna leave. I remember just spending 2 weeks on Twitter, just refreshing, refreshing,
Yeah.
refreshing, refreshing. I
Yeah.
see one of my press. Oh, he's definitely gonna leave. He's packing his bags. Then I see another tweet. Oh no, he's gonna stay. Then I see another tweet. Whatever. But like, I was genuinely nervous. Like you said
Mm,
in your life, Simo. If Ranieri went to the national team, apart from losing credibility, even though like we can't blame the man. It's his last dance if he went. But our whole project would like fall, boom, like London Bridge. We need Ranieri. Like we were so sure that Ranieri is gonna be our skeleton, our blanket, whatever you want to call him. And then all of a sudden he's immediately not there. It's not even been 1 week he's been in this role and he's leaving. Of course, chaos, and even for Gasperini,
mm.
like you said, imagine making sure that Ranieri is there. That's why the reason you're with Roma, and then all of a sudden he disappears. I think it would have fucked our project big time. So I'm very
100%.
relieved that Ranieri is staying.
It
Mm.
would have. It would have. I was very scared, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. It's also a lot of pressure, you know. I mean, he's just done this phenomenal, project with Roma this season, with last season, taking us to where we needed to be, um, and it was almost the unthinkable, and he's done a lot of the unthinkable, but we know in the national team, you know, you don't get a lot of time and you get a lot of pressure because you've only got a certain amount of games every few months to prove yourself. Um, and for him, because I think he was still going to be a part of Roma, but it is just not viable. But to be in two places at once and try, I mean, the guy's an old bloke at the end of the day. He can't put all his eggs. He's got to put all his eggs in one basket. He wants to stay in Rome. He wants to be part of this project. He wants to be a part of history. He's a Roma boy. If he went to the national team and it went wrong, it would almost just completely ruin this whole legacy that he's just built as well. Because at the end of the day, it's the national team, and it's a completely different game of football. So, if he went
Yeah,
to the national team and it didn't go well, it would just completely ruin this whole idyllic legacy that he's just created as well. So I think he's made the right decision. He's going to help us now bring in the right players, and him being the vocal point of Roma as well now is where a lot of players want to come. They want if they get a call from Ranieri saying come to Rome, are they going to put the phone down or are they going to hear him out? It's a massive selling point for Rome. I mean, I'm so happy he stayed.
I must say one thing, though. The mediatic battle that the media has now launched against Ranieri is
I
something
know.
embarrassing.
really. I didn't see
Oh,
anything.
it's something I mean,
So bad.
every journal, every like newspaper, head like main headline is like, you can't say no to the
Yeah.
national team. Radio outlets repeating this. It's embarrassing, and nobody focuses on Gravina, who is the actual problem. And I will add on something onto this. I am scared because I think this Ranieri rejecting the Italian national team, we will see repercussions when it comes to referees this season. I'm calling this now. The Italian system is corrupt. The Italian system is extremely corrupt against us. And I'm telling you, this season we have to put that helmet on because they're all gonna be they're all against us. We've got the world against us, especially
Yeah.
now that we've got Gasperini, who according to everyone is a dickhead on the bench. Ranieri said no to the national team. Roma will be targeted, and I am very scared about this. We will. We
Mm.
will be targeted. So we have to this season more
But
than ever. It's us against the world.
mm. But that's what we like. We
Everyone's
want the pressure. We
super
want the
targeted.
pressure.
Yeah, we do. We're always in pressure, so we're used to it now.
I
But
know
yeah,
also why we're so targeted though. Like I understand if it's either Juve or Inter, it's either black or white, brackets blue, but like the shit referee decisions I've seen against Roma in my time, it's like crazy. Obviously, the worst one was of Anthony Taylor,
No,
but like
vabbè.
Oh,
there's so
Anthony
many
Taylor, how is
goals
he
I
still
recall.
refereeing?
It's insane. But this thing of the Italian national team, I think it's so selfish to call up Ranieri. Like we were, I'm not going to
Yeah.
say Roma were selfish too, because but at least we're Roma, we're his actual national team. But to actually go on the record and say, okay, this is the second time I'm gonna go into retirement. I want to chill, and like
Yeah.
saying no to Roma, no to Roma, no to Roma, no to Roma for like the second season for him, and then all of a sudden the entire national team come for him. That's very selfish. Like
It's
he
awful. I
went
mean,
on
the
record.
guy's 74
I
years
want
old.
to coach.
I mean, somebody in the
Mhm.
chat is asking what benefit it would be for the association to be against us. Well, I think there aren't any benefits, but the fact that Ranieri said no to the national team, and I think saying no to the national team, I can understand people complaining if Ranieri didn't have a
Mm,
job. If Ranieri was there doing nothing, I can
yeah.
understand people going, you don't really say no to your national team. But Ranieri had already said and stated in every press conference this season that at the end of the season he would focus behind the scenes at Roma. And I think the fact that you're asking him to break that contract because you want to use him as a shield for the potential possibility that you're not qualifying for another World Cup means that you're just using him. So I think the reason I'm scared that we're gonna get targeted this season is because Ranieri chose Roma. Ranieri said
Mhm.
no to the Italian national team. Let's punish Ranieri. Let's
Mm,
show Ranieri what we're made of. So that's my
yeah.
only fear. I'm not saying that will happen, but it's something to consider because the media assaults that he's getting is something embarrassing.
Mm.
I
In
can see
terms,
it.
I've got a question in terms of our current squad. So the question is, because we've got the likes. I've just been thinking, Salah-Din, who we didn't see play much, Abdul Hamid, he started playing, he did well, and then obviously Salamakers came back from, I think he came back from injury, didn't he? And he put him on that right hand side, and he just thrived there. Are these players that we need to sell, or do we need to loan them out, or do we keep them in the squad? Um, you know, for me personally, Chelik, he's a player that
Yeah, no, he needs
I,
to go. I
I
agree.
don't. I want him gone. He
To be honest
is.
with you, I think all our fullbacks need to go apart from Angelino. I say keep, but if 30 million come, then I sell him. So yeah,
Well,
I would
Gasperini.
sell
I think
every
Gasperini
fullback.
said he doesn't. Someone like Angelino isn't a player that suits the way that he plays anyway. So in that regards, that made me kind of come to terms with losing him a little bit because I was like, well, if it's not going to work and we are going to bring someone in to replace him with the money we're going to get from him, then fair enough. But yeah, like for example, I'd love to see Abdul play a little bit more next season. And we didn't really get to see much of that Salah-Eddin either, did we? And we
No, we
bought him.
haven't. We haven't. I just feel like, I mean, technically, I don't think they're amazing. We haven't
No.
seen much of them, so I agree. Maybe we need to see more. But you can tell that technically they're not amazing. And I think for fullback, technique is extremely important. But
Mm,
I would personally I would sell them. Then everyone, of course, thinks what they want to think. But I would sell them because I think if we don't hire the board now, that so many teams have changed managers, and we will probably
mm,
start with a less of a handicap.
yeah.
Then we're never gonna do it. But I mean, would Francesco keep Saud? Would you keep him?
It's funny. I was drinking coffee in the morning and I was seeing a video of Sick Wolf. And he did this video for keep or sell, with the tier list of Roma players. And he had the first tier called Gasperini Abile, which means obviously they're very Gasperini type players. He put Saud Abdulhamid in the first tier list. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, because he runs. Like, I think he's absolutely shit, honestly. Like, how can you
Wow.
come on? Like you. even when I saw his name the first time, Sal Abdul Hamid, I was like, oh my god. Classic player
Yeah.
like Reynolds, Deepa Roma by, and some people get excited about him because he's from an interesting country, and in reality, he can't even play with Salernitana. That's what I
Um,
think. Now, if he wants to keep him for those 80-minute substitutions and he just runs, carries the ball like a chicken into the box and falls and gets a penalty, then maybe we could. But I don't see Roma competing with Abdul Hamid.
No,
Celik I
I
would
don't
keep.
either.
Celik I would keep. Because Celik lately, as in, he raised his bar. I still wouldn't give him as a starting fullback, definitely not. He still can't attack, he still can't cross. But he has something which he still gives his all. And regardless to the criticism he gets, he still keeps his game consistent. And there were games where, for example, when he got injured, it was the first time I was like, fuck. Chelik's injured. When usually we like celebrating. When he got injured, we really felt his presence. And I mean, he runs, he plays every game. Gasperini needs durable players. And with durable players, you go a long way because you don't have excuses that, okay, we played Europa League on Thursday and then Sunday we have to play again and we have to win on both on Sunday and both on Thursday. I'm used to Roma sacrificing games because we're not fit. We're never fit. With Gasperini, with
mm,
durable players, and we need to stop these excuses because we're playing 2 games a week. If you saw Atalanta when they won the Europa League, they were playing the same team over and over and over
Yeah.
and winning everything. That's how you win.
mm.
You have to be
Can we win the Europa League?
yes,
Yeah,
100%.
100%, 100%.
100%.
Are
The
we
right
gonna win
players
the
to come
Europa
in.
League?
I mean,
Right,
because it's made
right,
out of
prediction of the 12th of June. Yes or no? I mean,
yes. I will say yes,
so you think
but
we're the
it's
favorites?
we are definitely the favorites. Look at the teams.
I think it's
As in,
between
but
us and Villa.
the thing is, it's never okay. If Tottenham won the Europa League, they were technically the favorites. When Atletico won the Europa League, they were the favorites. But it's made out of many episodes. Like against Bilbao, we had to pass on paper. We had to pass on
Yeah,
paper. But that Hummels thing came out of thin air,
yeah,
and
I
obviously
know.
passed. So it's not about who is the better team. If we get a red card again randomly, and we're playing against a semi-good team, we might not pass again. It's all episodes, so you need luck. A cup has luck. Even the league has luck, but it doesn't own a cup. So it's made out of episodes. But I would like to say yes, we are the favorites.
I think Gasperini may prioritize the league a little bit more though this season because what we've seen in the last 5 years, we've always we've always had really good European spells, but we haven't done the best in the league. We haven't got Champions League, and I feel like if he prioritizes, I feel like they've told him, you've got to get Champions League this season because I mean, we've got to. We all know we've got to. So I feel like he may prioritize that a little bit more as an opposed to the Europa League. It would be great, and in my eyes, I could see, I don't see why we can't finish in the top four spot, but I feel like he won't. I feel like the Europa League wise, I don't think we'll do as well this season as we have to other seasons. But it's definitely possible. I'm not.
I actually think he has. I agree with the fact that the league is very important, but I have
Mm,
a feeling that one of the many reasons that Gasperini accepted us is because he put his eyes on that Europa League. Not because of the
mm,
teams that are in it, but because he's won it 2 years ago. He knows how to win it. And I think the other thing, which makes me say that we could have a good final European run if we get to latter stages.
mm.
I think we would become the favorites because Gasperini is very good at not making lose the players the fitness towards the last months of the season. Because with
Yes.
Atalanta, the pattern is always he starts a bit ni, then towards Christmas he explodes.
Yeah.
Then after Christmas to like March he falls down again. Not terribly,
Mm.
but he loses a bit of that energy. But then from
Momentum.
like March to May, he it's probably like prime Gasperini team. So pattern shows to me that the way that there are going to be ups and downs. I think the most important pattern, the most important probably thing that needs to happen with Gasperini is that he needs to start well, because if he doesn't start well, the pressure will get to him. The fans will use him of course, as a scapegoat. So I think the first 8 games are very important. The first 8 games to set the tone are very important, which is why I think he knows this and he will have asked the board to back him, especially in this first transfer session, because he needs to start well. And the fact that we've got the derby after 4 games is very, very
Yeah.
interesting.
I was just going to
Wins
say
that
we've got some
derby.
big games.
Because imagine you lose a derby after 4 games. That's a bad start. Pressure will get to you.
That's what Mourinho did with us.
Yeah, in his
Made
first
that-
season, I remember. And then we won the
it's-
Conference League, so maybe
but
we
it's the
can
same
lose a
for
derby
Lazio.
again and win the Europa League.
Yeah, Lazio in the same boat though, aren't they? With they're they're getting Sarri, so he's going to have to win, and he's got to win the derby in their eyes in the first 4 games. So, but the fact that we've got a tough start, I've seen I think last season we played some quite lower down the table teams, and it doesn't. There's nothing for momentum there because you kind of beat the Genoas and the Veronas, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, well we expected to win, and there's no momentum. If you beat Bologna, right? You beat Bologna, and then you go on and beat Lazio in your 4th game. I mean, the momentum's there, isn't it? And do you know what I mean?
course.
And everyone's going, wow, Whereas when you're playing all the low league teams, and then it's like, right, now we've got to face a Bologna, now we've got to face an Atalanta, now we've got to, that's when that's when you start to crumble a little bit because it's like, whoa, we didn't expect this sort of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So I
do.
think it's going to be very good, but it can go either way. It could be we have the worst start to the season because we lose to Bologna, we lose to Lazio, and it's kind of like crap, or we beat both of them, and we go on. It could go both ways. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, I am too. We've got a long way to go, though. That's the thing. I hate it.
Furious with our direct encounters because we've been shit with direct encounters as much as I can remember. Like, okay, in the era of Spalletti 2016, yes, we used to beat Inter, we used to beat Lazio, we used to beat Milan, but they were shit. Ever since Serie A has improved, we have been horrendous in direct encounters, and I'm curious to see if Gasperini can get that consistency. I'm not saying we have to win every direct encounter; it's impossible. But like, if he does not manage to win direct encounters with us, I will genuinely say we are cursed. It is the history of the Roma, but because even when we won the Scudetto, we weren't great with direct
Yeah.
encounters.
So who would you like to, how you said Simo about all our fullbacks. Who's someone you'd like to bring in?
Well,
Fullback
I
as
really
well.
like the Belgian guy that we've been linked with if Angelino leaves. The Kuipers from Bruges. I
Yes.
think Gasperini. If De Rossi was more like, give me South American Latin players, technical, those Viva el Football type players. Gasperini, if Gasperini needs to, I think, identify an epicenter of the world to get his players from, I would say it's North Europe. Like Sweden, those players that are durable, physical beasts. Belgium, Sweden, Norway. I think those are the players that Gasperini loves the most, and I think we will see more players come from those countries this summer.
Yeah, I can see that coming.
Yeah, so I would say De Kuipers isn't bad. What you guys a name? You've got any
I
specific
would say
names?
the Kuipers, but I would be talking out of my ass if I would tell you, yes, bring the Kuipers. I don't know how he plays. I don't know the Belgium league. Honestly, I can only comment on Serie A players and Premier League players. Because that's the thing, we hear a cool name and we're like, oh, the Kuipers. I don't know, to be honest. I'm a big fan of buying Serie A players, to be honest. I
Yeah,
like keeping
you know the league.
players in the same league, especially when you know what they can do.
Yeah.
I really
I'd
wanted
like.
we're going after him. I really wanted him, but
Who?
fucking left. Bellanova,
Yes.
Bellanova is the player that Gasperini would want the most.
What about Walker? Or no?
Nah,
No.
Kyle Walker, no.
no.
Okay. I think maybe on the playing on that right side, I could see it. I could see it. Free agent or loan move.
But to be honest with
Wait.
you, I don't think that's the profile that Gasperini wants. Because
No.
I think it's not about now. We won't see many. Like it's probably gonna. This summer is probably gonna be one of those summers where we get. Let's say we get 5 players, and I can assure you that 4 of these 5 players we've never heard of before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
I think it's
agree.
less about big names and more about little players that Gasperini specifically asked for and knows that he can turn into beasts.
I mean, I liked. There's a couple fullbacks in my mind. What's the Udinese right back called? The really tall guy. He's got quite a complicated
The
name.
guy that looks like Toby Jizzle.
Yeah. It's not Ebisile, is it?
Zamora or
Hang on. Let me...
Ebuzile,
What about
yes,
you?
yes, he's good.
Is it Ebisile?
There's
Yeah.
Zamora.
I like,
Ebuzile.
and then I think there's another
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that we
yeah.
have
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. He's good. You're right. He's not bad.
And
Boy,
that's a
yeah.
player. That's a young lad. Also, I liked Singo, but then he went to Monaco, which I thought was quite a weird
Yeah.
move as well. And then we're linked with is it Lucchimi?
Oh, the Bologna guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Cent-
more of a
cent-
centre back. Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah. But still, talking about signings, he's the kind of I think he'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, guys. I mean, I think we can. I think we can end this first chat. Do you guys
I've
want to
just
add anything
realised-
else?
Well, I've just realised that I feel like the title of the video was about our goalkeeper, eh? And I don't think we've actually spoken about him.
Oh, right. Yeah, let's give a little comment on Svilar's new contract because Fabrizio posted yesterday, and he said that the contract is happening. There has been an acceleration in these last couple of days, and that the deal is close, and that Svilar will sign a new contract. So big news because he's probably our best player.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely is. our
Francesco,
best player.
take it away.
No, firstly, I'm curious to see why it took us so long to extend this contract. Really curious. I will give him 5 million a year easy. I mean, the amount of points he has given us. Plus, may I add, for those of you who don't play Fantacalcio, I mean, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but the amount of ratings I got from Svilar on Fantacalcio is insane. Like, and they're good
What was your
goalkeepers.
team? Break your team up. I
It's
wanna
four
see.
teams. I'm not normal, Simo. I had four.
Four
Fantacalcio.
No, I only do one,
Yeah.
and I got 10th out of 10.
Oh my god! And you think that
I got
you're
10th out
still-
of 10, and I got to the stage that I didn't want to make one of my mates win. So, like, for the last 3 months of the season, I deliberately didn't put my team so that all of those who played against me got the points.
Oh my god! If you did that in our leagues, we would generally go insane. Like
yeah,
they would
my
either
team
make-
this season was terrible.
No, fair enough. It's all luck.
But you know
But
why
no,
my
we-
team was terrible? Because I got extremely hyped because we did our Fantacalcio thingy the day after. No, sorry, the day. What was it? The day before Dybala officially announced that he was gonna stay. So like we did our Fantacalcio thingy when basically Dybala was gone. So I was like, I'm just gonna get Dybala for the meme, and I spent 1 credit on him, and then because I knew that he was gonna leave, and then he stayed, but he didn't have a great season in terms of Fantacalcio, so that's the reason I centered my team around him. But yeah,
For one credit, it's absolutely good.
yeah, it is because he was gonna leave, so I was like, I just want him. I'll spend 1 credit on him, and then he ended up staying. Somebody in the chat says, "Where's the best seats to buy for a game at the Olimpico?" I'll be there for the opener.
I mean, Tribuna Tevere is better than Montemario because it's cheaper. But it's
Yeah,
always,
I would say that.
Or
If it's your
your-
first game, I would say that.
I mean, look at the seats. You can see it like in 3D. See people what seats there are compared to the prices. You can make that judgment yourself. But Tribuna Tevere, you can't go wrong.
Season tickets come out on Monday, guys. Very excited.
For sure. Also,
Well, so going back to Svilar, what?
Oh yeah,
what-
sorry. Poor Emile, we can't seem to focus on him.
Yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon because I thought we were going to have another Allison situation where, we've created this fantastic goalkeeper. He's so reliable, he's brilliant, and he loves the club. And a team like Man United or Tottenham or, whoever, I think AC Milan wanted him. They were going to come along, offer him a massive payday, and see you later. And everyone will be talking about him in the Premier League, like Alisson. Everyone says he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. It would be that exact situation again. And I think he's just so in love with the club. I think he loves the project. I think the passion, and yet again, it goes back to the fans, how much the fans love him. I think honestly, I've never seen a goalkeeper so cool and so calm and collected, in such important situations in a game. We won a lot of 1-0s last season, and he stayed so calm and made some amazing saves. He's a leader, he's just got so much passion for the club. And to be honest, when De Gea went to Fiorentina, I was so upset because I thought he would have been brilliant for us. It was a free agent, and and I mean, we've seen what he can do. But when De Rossi decided to put Mile in goal, I was like, wow, what a decision. And I'm so happy he is staying. I mean, it's not 100% confirmed yet, so I don't want to be jinxing it right now, but
I
I'm
mean,
over the
probably
moon
one
about
of the biggest what ifs in our history is
it.
what if
100%.
Miles Villar was in goal in that Budapest final? Would he have saved any penalties?
Well, how many penalties
Definitely.
has he actually saved this season?
Well, I remember that game against Feyenoord last season in the Europa
Feyenoord,
League, and he
yes.
was the hero of that night. He saved like three
Yeah,
penalties.
that
Yes,
game. I'm
yes,
sure.
yes.
So,
I'm sure.
but it
You
is
know
what
when
it
I fell in
is.
love with Zilar? You know when I fell in love with Zilar? When he started to play a bit, and I just go on Instagram stories, and I just see a selfie like in his car. It's like, buonanotte ragazzi, Forza Roma. I just like on a random Wednesday night.
He
He
loves it.
loves the club. He loves the
He
club,
loves the
and
club.
like
He
he's
absolutely loves it.
shouting at like everyone when like they commit errors. Like I would see him as the next captain. Like if Mancini leaves or we need a vice captain, it will be Svilar. I don't see
Well, don't
anyone
forget about
else.
Pellegrini.
Don't touch Pellegrini, or Rui will leave the
Who,
chat.
You just assume
who?
Pellegrini's going to lose his captaincy.
That should have been a topic we should have spoken about. To be
That's
honest,
gonna be that's
Pellegrini.
gonna be a good topic for one of these. Oh, when
Yes.
Pellegrini. Imagine we sell Pellegrini and we bring Rui on.
I'll be in tears over here right now. I don't think I'll be able to show my face.
As a quick fire, sell or keep. As a quick fire.
Okay.
Pellegrini for me.
Yeah.
Uh, it depends on the money. If it's keep, it's not start. If it's keep,
I don't
it's to
see
be a sub in.
How much? How
Oh,
much would
sorry.
you
Don't
want for him?
see him as a really clear.
I think you can. I think you won't sell him for more than 15 million. Plus, his contract is expiring, so that's another thing to
Yeah.
consider.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, look, I would keep him only if Gasperini promises me not to start him, because he can turn into a very good like Pasalic type player who comes in. But
Yeah.
if we need to start another season with Pellegrini, no, sell him.
Like I've said, I think and it was when he did his post when after I think he'd done his surgery and he said, I'm gonna be a completely different player. And I think he's realised, and I think to be honest, this season's really because I think he got a bit complacent. I think he just thought, well, I'm the captain and etc. etc. Which is why I think a lot of people start to hate him. But I think this season's really opened his eyes a little bit to I've really got to wake up now. I'm on the verge of leaving, and to be honest, he's had links with the top four teams. They want him, and that should just be even more of a reason for us to go. This boy's a Romanista. He lives and breathes this club. Let's support him. Let's get behind him and let's see what he's made of because we have seen spells, and I know he's not the most consistent player, but we've seen spells where we can see what he can do. I mean, look at the Lazio game; he was an absolute legend for a day, and then he went back to everyone hated him again. But I think he's hungry. I think the hunger's been born again, And I'm telling you, this season, if he's given the opportunity to, I think he'll take it, and I think he's got to. This is his last chance. This is his last chance, because we're not going to get any more than 15 million for him, even at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And in my eyes, he might even have till January. If he recovers in time to have a good start to the season and show that he's part of this club. I think Ranieri, I don't know how much he rates Lorenzo, but I think he could work under Gasperini. I think he could.
Fair.
I'm excited.
Fair.
To prove everyone wrong.
Fair. Right, guys, I think we can end this. Rui, when are you coming to Rome? Saturday.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Saturday,
When's the Ed Sheeran concert? Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah, it's Saturday night, so my flight's at
Ah.
like 5:30 in the morning, and then
Nice.
I've got to go to the gig in the evening. So yeah,
Nice.
should be good. I'm there till Tuesday.
Nice. I'm off to Disney this weekend in Paris, so hopefully
What
we'll
am
be
I hearing? Disney, Ed Sheeran.
Disneyland. Have you guys been?
It was
Yeah,
like
I've
6.
Is it nice?
You never been?
6.
It's amazing.
I don't know what to tell you.
I'll let you know.
Enjoy, man. Thank you for the live stream. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was fun.
Thanks for being gone, man.
We'll do this more often. But goal is once a week. So we've got other people too, but we'll organize other ones. And of course, during the season, it'll be even more entertaining. I can't wait when Pellegrini misses a penalty. I'm joking. But yeah, right. Guys, thank you very much. You want to say one last thing?
Go ahead, Rui. It's always been me to start.
Forza Pellegrini. And I look forward to our bet, Simo.
Oh yeah. What was our bet though?
I think it was 10 goals, wasn't it?
10 goals? 10
it
goals
was,
next
I think.
season, and you get the LP tattooed on you.
I'll get LP tattooed on me, yes.
Okay, and if he
if
scores
I
more,
win,
10 or more, I have to film a video apologizing
yeah,
to you.
you got to film a video for however many goals he scores. It's got to be that long. The
Okay.
video's got to be that long, and you've just got to keep saying, "I'm so sorry, Pellegrini."
Okay, we'll do that. Deal. We will do that.
I look forward to it.
Right, guys, hit the like, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this, and catch you soon. Bye-bye.
See you later, guys.